right, what's up everyone? Today's day one of training, Monday, October the 16th, and we got some squats, did presses, and getting ready for a meet here in 2 weeks up there in Oakland, the Starting Strength Fall Classic, so that'll be fun. Knees are feeling better, so today was a pretty good day. I'll show you some guys, the training footage from that coming up. I just wanted to take a sec and talk about Raw Nationals. We were down in Orlando, Florida for the 2017 USAPL Raw Nationals. Last time we were there was 2013, where I competed. And that meet, I think there was only a couple hundred signups. I think 300 or 400 signups. And now I think we're up over 1,300. Something like that. Now don't quote me on those numbers because I actually didn't look that up. It's just kind of scuttlebutt you hear around the meet from folks who are in the know. But powerlifting's blown up, and it's really cool because it's very accessible. I actually like powerlifting, to use powerlifting for folks who are just training for health goals, which seems kind of counterintuitive. You think about powerlifting as super competitive, and people cutting weight and maybe sacrificing some technique to get the last few pounds on the bar. And yeah, that's true at the high level, competitive powerlifting, that we saw like at nationals. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just, individual choices and value systems and stuff like that. But for general trainees, powerlifting is super accessible. You think about it. You need a squat, bench press, and deadlift, and that's pretty accessible for most folks. You don't need to spend a lot of money on equipment. You don't need to spend a lot of money on a gym membership because gym memberships are fairly affordable these days. Training equipment is pretty affordable these days. So, as far as sports to get into, it's much cheaper than something like cycling or as far as the amount of people who can do it and actually, see market improvement over time. You get people who start training and weights go up, and they do better and better at meets. And yeah, it's really cool. In fact, one of the trainees who, a buddy of mine, Cody Miller out of St. Louis, Missouri, he's a starting strength coach. He always has a big, formidable cadre of females that he takes to meets, which is pretty cool. And one of his clients, Nan, just set a bunch of American records this weekend. And, she started out just wanting to train for life, and powerlifting is a good outlet for her. She was able to, basically use different meets as motivation to keep training and, go into the gym when she'd rather not to, and which she'd rather not train. And I think that's actually a really cool thing about powerlifting. Again, it's good motivation, super accessible. From a weight loss perspective, if you had a client, you were a trainer or coach, and they were trying to lose weight, having them sign up for the weight class below where they're at right now is super motivating to get them to actually hit that weight goal, which is kind of cool, keep people compliant. And then, from a safety standpoint, so the biggest, downside that people are going to say against competitive powerlifting is that the injury rate, and it's just not high. The competitive weightlifting, competitive powerlifting has a super low injury rate compared to sports like soccer, running, basketball, and even when you compare it to like rec league stuff. So, injury rates for this stuff is just effectively non-existent, and I wouldn't use that as a counter argument as to why not to do this stuff. So, I was super pumped to see all the competitors. It was a really nice turnout. Some of the highlights for me, Daniel Bailey was down there, which I think is cool for powerlifting. I'm not sure if it actually does end up growing powerlifting, just having her involved, but it's super cool to see her come out, and she was strong. I think she squatted in 300s and benched low 200s and pulled 330 or something like that as a 63 kilo lifter. So yeah, it's cool to see her, and if it does end up growing powerlifting, then that's going to be super awesome. So happy she came out. The women's 63 was craziness. Sam Calhoun, nice, coming in second place there. Austin from Barbell Medicine, he coaches her. Jennifer Thompson, after her hip replacement, coming out and she ended up pulling 195 kilos, so 430 on her, or 197 and a half, so 435 for her third deadlift after she had a hip reconstruction earlier this year, which is super impressive. So that was just the female class. Some of the female class highlights in the 72 kilo class. Rory Alter ended up going, putting a PR performance across the board. That was cool to see. We used to work together. So other name drop, obviously Leah, coming out, she got fourth. That's about She did better than we could have ever planned for, given the injury that we were working with. She had some back pain, and we kind of moderated her training as appropriately. We never stopped training, but yeah, it was hard to productively train the last few weeks going into prep, and she ended up going out there and doing super well. Squatted 330, pulled 341 effectively, without really training her squat or deadlift the last 3 weeks. So wasn't the overall result we hoped for, but I was super proud of her to going out there and doing what she did. Let's see. Other cool things. 83 kilo class for the guys was just nuts. Gosh, Russ Swole, I actually met him in LA, and watching him go out there and smoke that 300 kilo squat was pretty cool. Looks like he had some more weight in the tank there. Watched the 93 kilo class. That would have been my weight class, and wow, a lot of strong guys. So I'm glad I wasn't out there, man. I had no business competing with those guys who were in prime time. So maybe next year we'll actually train for powerlifting instead of the strength lifting stuff, and go out there and compete. Get Austin and I on the same platform. But yeah, Raw Nationals was cool, and I think if anybody out there is watching, I made a case for why powerlifting is super accessible, and I think that if you have the itch to compete, you should do it now. Don't wait till you're strong enough, because you'll never be strong enough. If you wait till you're competitive, I don't know, you might be waiting forever if you live near a world champion who competes a lot. You basically are as competitive as the people who show up. So if I went to a local meet and there happened to be the top 3 guys from the 93 kilo class who just happened to show up there, then maybe I'd be less competitive, than I otherwise would be at a different meet. So anyway, I think it's if you have the desire to compete, you should compete as soon as possible, and I think it does a lot for folks training once they sign up for that meet. But anyway, we'll take you through today's training session. Got some squats, presses, and pin presses. And all this talk about meets got me excited for my own meet here in about 2 weeks. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next time on YouTube. you.